Welcome back to Fold in the Cheese. It is your boy K-Troll on the mic for the Season 3 premiere. Bet you thought you lost us, but we are back, baby. That's right. And I got my man E. Gelfand here sharing the mic with me. What's going on, E?
Well, we're not sharing the same mic. That would be weird because we are not. We are actually. What's crazy is this summer is we have probably seen each other more than we have in the probably the last 20 years. So
Yeah.
we could have been sharing the mic, but we are not in the same area once again. But
we did share the mic on a couple of calls, Zoom calls, some other video content as well. So we have shared the mic a few times. I've gotten a lot of grief because my mic is a little phallic, just in general.
Well, I mean, the mic itself kind of, but the fact that you like had it so close to your mouth at some point, it's just like it's just right there.
K-Troll on the mic. K-Troll on the mic.
Do it. So yes, we have shared the mic, and hey, great to see you. You know, we just saw each other this past weekend. Decided, let's just go to North Carolina instead, not like go to one of our houses. Got some other friends from college. It was a great to reconnect, reunionize, if that's a word. We're gonna make
reunionize,
right? Okay, now your mic's too far. Now you're super quiet. You messed up your mic. It's too far away.
See, it got calibrated. It likes being close.
It got calibrated to just being right up in your face.
Yeah, I have to talk with my mouth over it the entire time.
Yeah, so we're back, season 3. I know you again, as you mentioned, you probably thought you lost us, but here we are. We took a little sabbatical over the summer just to reconnect, just refresh, make everything's good. We are going to be shuffling it up a little bit this season. We're going to have shorter episodes. We're really going to hone it in. There's just such gold. We just want to keep it quick for you, quick and tight. Boom, get all you need. So
30 minutes of solid gold.
It's just going to be great. So yeah, great summer. Saw you twice, which is a lot. And it's crazy. Your kids went back to school like 3 months ago. Mine just went back to school yesterday. So, which means it's fallish. And what does that mean then? September?
Football is in the air. Football's in the air. We're just like, 2.5 weeks away from the NFL starting, 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
College is starting up this weekend with some random games, I think, right? So it's like, it's here. It's here.
So with all this to be said is that we had a special event at our trip that we just came
reunionized
back from. At our reunionization. We had a great addition to our fantasy league. So we currently have 12 teams in our fantasy league. So this is what we're going to be doing today. We'll give you a quick recap. We are going to be showing you the results, how we're going to be doing our draft order for our fantasy league. And then we are also going to be just doing a mock draft. We've got 12 teams, just like in our league. And then just kind of see, as we're going, getting ready for the season start, just kind of where we think players will fall. Obviously, Kemper and I will only be drafting 2 teams with the computer going for the other 10. But again, just kind of get a general idea. So Kemp, why don't you tell them what we did to make our draft order, or at least to partially figure out our draft order?
So we've all probably seen the video on Facebook of the fantasy football combine that guys did in the backyard, where the guys doing like chugging a beer and shooting a beer pong and cornhole and all that kind of stuff, and then a sprint. So we made our own version of the same thing. There were 6 of the players in our 12-man league that were on this trip with us. So we at least got half of the league to participate in the combine. I'll tell you how I randomized it after that. But basically, we're going to time you from you take 2 beer pong shots, then you run down the hill a little bit. We had this giant hill sloping to the lake.
It was quite dangerous.
It was a little hard to set up even fields for any of this stuff, but you run down the hill a little bit. You got Can Jam. We have a third-party, unbiased partner on Can Jam, although you had some asterisks on that. You throw at least 1 Frisbee at him, see if he can either hit the can, get it in the can, or if you hit the can, you have an opportunity to throw a second Frisbee if you're unhappy with your first throw. Some people did that. Then you run all the way down to the bottom of the hill, down by the docks. We got a cornhole station set up. You throw 3 cornhole bags. You run back up the hill, drink a small amount, and do a flip cup. And then your timer stops. All right. The point was at each station, you had an opportunity to cut time off of your total time, depending on how successful you were. So in the Pong stage, if you made a cup, 3 seconds off your time. You made both cups, 6 seconds off your time. Can Jam, 1, 2, or 3 points made 2, 4, or 6 seconds off of your time. Cornhole, I don't remember if we said no one had anything in cornhole.
No one hit a cornhole
because it was like impossible to hit this board.
It was slick. It was
slick and slanted. But I think it was going to be like, if it's on the board, you get 2 seconds off. If it's in the hole, you get like 6 seconds off. I don't remember. Something like that. So anyway, and then the flip cup, you had to do it until you flipped.
You just had to finish.
So all of the times were within, I mean, the average time to finish this thing was like 35 to 45 seconds, kind of in that range.
No, we were way. Oh, but you're saying with the subtracted time.
And then you subtract time from there. How, with the exception of one participant who finished in 1:15. Shout out to Rob, slowest human alive in this event, who actually does run for fun. He's like a runner now.
Marathons.
But this was a sprint, not a marathon, and not his forte.
I wonder if he carbo loaded with some chicken Alfredo. Must have been right before. We just didn't see it, and that's maybe why.
It looked like he housed about 14 burgers right before we started. I don't know.
Possibly.
So it was very eventful. So like I said, most of the times we're within 5-6 seconds overall time. It came down to the success of each station if you were able to dock time from your total. I'm still a little salty about one of my performances in particular, but the champion of this event was one Drader, Nick Drader of Banana Hammer fame.
Go!
We got one.
Oh, dang. Fucking missed the one thing I've been doing well all day. There in the beer pond.
What's 1 point?
Oh!
He's killing it.
So
wait, do we take best score or do we take both? That's 4
Both.
Best score.
Best
Oh,
score.
no, best score.
If you hit one.
Go! Run!
No one's making this shit.
Flip it! Flip back up! Flip back up!
Test the board twice on there then.
Too high.
Ooh,
Time.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
What was it?
It's a good score.
30. Nick Drader, shout out to Drader. By the time you deducted from his time, he ended up right around 23 seconds, I think.
No, I thought it was. I thought it was
25 maybe. 25 maybe. It was insane. It ended up being pretty quick in the end. He ended up making one of his beer pong throws. He got a 3-pointer in can jam.
Yeah, the can jam was
Came up.
always the kicker for everybody because I hit a beer pong one, but then the can jam, Joseph,
Here's the asterisk. Here he
third
goes.
party just decided to whiff on mine. So anyway,
Yeah, not that you're holding a grudge.
not salty.
So I finished in second place, 2 seconds behind Drader. I missed my beer pong shots. I'm salty about that. Took me 4 flips for a cup, which is unheard of in my flip cup career.
Flip.
So I feel like I should have won the thing. I let it slip away, and shame on me. Good for Drader. He won fair and square. In third place, maybe to some surprise, not mine, Blake B. Brittles coming through big time. Blake came through with a big third place victory, edging out Ethan Gelfand. That was the surprise, I think, of the event. That you weren't in the top 3.
Again,
Couldn't cut it.
If Joe had canned the jam, I would have been first, if not, I would have been second, if not first, because that would have been 6 seconds right there. Because I remember my time; it was 32 seconds. I felt great.
Yep.
And then had Joseph hit the dunk, but anyway, it's okay.
Yeah, well, takes 2 to tango. Takes 2 to tango. He dunked mine. Obviously, it was easy. Put it right there for him.
Yep.
5th place, Aaron, 40-year-old Mass. And then in 6th place, very far behind, Rob, the Cheeseinator. So we've got that positioning is going to carry over into what we're going to do to randomize our draft for our Yahoo League. This is our 12-man Yahoo League, PPR. This league's been going on since college, so this is a big deal for us. Now, the way we're going to do this, and we're going to randomize the draft order live on this podcast.
Oh my gosh!
If you are familiar with the 100-yard rush, I'm going to pull it up right now. 100-yard rush. If you're watching the video,
I don't think anybody is. Like,
this thing
I
is
don't even know how
hilarious.
you found this.
I don't either. It's got basically like Tecmo Bowl characters, little pixelated football guys, and they run across the field. It's a total number randomizer, but it makes it look like you have some control over these guys. It's really fun. You put all of the contestants into this thing. You got a couple customizations you can make, and then you just let them run, and they make these short little bursts per
Slow
like
down.
dice roll, basically. So the way we're going to do this is I've put 6 different characters in here that are named Combine. Whichever Combine person finishes closest to the front, that's going to be the person who won the Combine Nick Trader. So and all the way down. So the second best Combine character, wherever he finishes in the overall, I get that slot, and then all the way down to the bottom. We've also got all the other names in here as well for the other folks who did not do a Combine or were not on the trip, at least. And they're welcome to do the Combine for fun. It is fun. It was a good
Yeah, it
time.
was great. It was a
You're
good
going to need to
time.
find the grading of that hill that we were
I was
on
gonna
because
say,
it's not
You have to
easy.
simulate the exact conditions. So a massive hill,
Must be
cornhole set
identical.
up diagonally. Yes.
I'm
So
gonna
how much
these up if you can
time
do.
did you have this be run?
What's that?
It's the 100-yard dash. It's usually like make it run in 1 minute, 30 seconds. Like what was our settings here?
I haven't set it up yet. Here we go.
Oh,
So I'm
here
not going
we
to give
go.
anybody a speed boost. No one.
No
You
speed
can see
boost.
there's no foul play here.
None.
So you get to determine like the yards traveled per rush. So personally, I like to get him at least 3 yards a rush because sometimes a guy will get stalled out with like several ones in a row, and he's just way back there. This is an important randomization though, so I don't want to get too crazy. Seconds per rush. Sometimes I'll go like 1 to 5 kind of thing. I'm just going to leave it pretty normal, and I'm going to leave it at normal speed as well, because when you're talking about a draft and you're talking about randomizing the draft order, it's pretty important that you get this thing as dramatic as possible.
Yes, incredibly dramatic. All right,
I'm gonna hit start rush, and we're ready to rock. Are we ready?
Let's go. For
3, 2, 1. Here it goes.
2023 draft order. Let's go. And counting down. All right, let's see who gets
Here
off
we
to a
go.
quick start. Oh,
Look at
Creighton.
these guys do. Oh, Josh and Creighton
Josh.
doing pretty well. One of the combines out pretty far.
Combine. That's good for Drader right there.
Good for
Combine
Drader.
is
Where are the
up
other
to a
combines?
big
Let's go.
lead.
Come
My
on, combine.
gosh.
Second best combine. Get out there. If I end up with like the 8th pick,
The
everyone other than the combines ended up beating us, I'll be so mad.
All the other combines. I think that is actually Rob just hanging out in the back.
That's Rob in the very back in the gold and red.
Holy
All right,
crap.
the combines are making some moves now.
Didn't Trader have first pick last year?
Trader Combine is
Jonathan
crushing
Taylor.
right now. He looks to be like the runaway favorite to get the first pick in the draft. Creighton just
And
had a
new
big
addition
rush.
to the league, Curtis is looking in the strong second spot right now.
Andy's doing pretty well. Hazer, look out for Hazer at the bottom. He's making moves.
Ricky is
The Rob
struggling.
Combine character, who won't be Rob if he finishes second.
Okay.
There it is. Drader is going to have our
Drader.
first overall pick.
Winning the
Combine ended up winning the 100-yard rush. The
And
first combine slot goes to Drader.
Curtis second.
Curtis, it's close. He got it.
Wait. Yeah, there he is.
Andy third. Creighton fourth. Combine fifth. I get a 5th
You
pick
get the
for
fifth
that
pick.
performance.
Sixth
A combine
pick
at
goes
6th.
to
That's going to be Blake.
Blake. Oh,
We've
I'm gonna
got
get freaking
maybe Ethan
no,
Gelfand coming in.
Give me 8th. I got the 8th pick.
Hazer was
Yeah.
7th. Ethan at 8th. We've got Josh at 9th.
9th.
We've got
Ricky
Ricky at 10th. We've got Aaron at 11 and Rob at 12. There it
Ugh.
is. The combines did not perform well. Look at that. Drader gets the first pick and then 3 non-combiners. All that
Wow.
training that I did, all it
Right.
got me was the 5th pick.
5th pick.
All right, so
Hey, are you recording? We wrote it down because just so no shenanigans here.
this is recording. This will be on the YouTube. Everyone can watch it.
Okay.
This is recording.
So now we got to switch over to our sleeper mock draft.
Yeah, we're gonna go
And
with
I have
a mock
officially-
draft here. I'm gonna grab my 5th slot.
I officially
That's me.
grabbed the 8th slot.
There's Gelfer, and now we can start a mock draft and see how this league might play out. I'm gonna draft in the 5th spot. We'll get an idea of what the roster construction looks like.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do the exact draft I would do in this league. I'm not trying to give it all away, but I might try a different strategy. We'll see. We'll see how
Was
the
that a
board
ploy?
falls to me.
I feel like you're just saying that, but it actually is going to be the entire cheap draft you would do. McCaffrey,
All right,
3rd. Jamar Chase. Oh, your boy Jamar's gone. You want
my
him.
boy Jamar is gone. So Justin Jefferson, CMC, Travis Kelce 3rd, Jamar Chase 4th. So I'm sitting here with a decision to make. I've got Austin Eckler and Bijan Robinson for the running backs sitting here. Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs sitting here at receiver. I feel like this is probably needs to be Austin Eckler or Tyreek Hill. We've run a couple of mocks to figure out what your running backs look like if you don't go running back first round. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just take Tyreek here just to see what happens. I'll let you guys see the mock itself. After that,
love
we
how we
got
get-
Robinson and Eckler gone. Ethan is up.
I love how we get an hour per pick. It's like, oh God, I need this.
I just didn't want to be rushed. I didn't want to be rushed. This podcast is going to last 12 hours.
So yeah, I think you and I were actually talking about this as we were driving to said event this weekend. We talked about this actually might be the year of the 0 running back strategy. So you just talked about those kind of big dogs off the board, but John Robinson and also Eckler are gone. I do love my boy Saquon, but I think I'm gonna have to go wide receiver here, and I'm gonna go 1 Cooper Kupp.
I love it. What a great pick there. 8th pick, Cooper Kupp. I mean, that's just insane. That should not happen. So after
Wow.
Cooper Kupp, we've got a run of 8 players because we've got 4 more teams and they got to wrap around 2. So CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Patrick Mahomes, top of the 2nd, Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, and Ethan is back up.
Yeah. So again, with our league, got to remember we start 3 wide receivers, start 2 running backs, and 1 flex. So we are kind of wide receiver heavy in our league. And so here I have a decision to make because I know there's going to be a run on wide receivers coming up. I got a couple people already picked the running back. And then I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of wide receiver turns here. So do I go wide receiver? Do I get my first running back? Again, I'm going to try the 0 running back strategy this season, or at least in this mock. So I'm going to go another wide receiver, and I'm going to get someone who I've just been missing on these past couple drafts. Kemper loves him.
Don't you dare.
Amon
you jerk. He takes Amon-Ra, snakes him right out from under me.
I was.
Yeah.
I
know how I feel about it.
I know who you like, so I wasn't going to take that guy. But I was also thinking Derrick Henry. But again, I want to try a 0 RB strategy, see what it does.
Yeah, I hear you. I would have probably grabbed him had he fallen to me as well. So good pick there. Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard off the board. I was hoping Pollard would fall to me there. Derrick Henry, I thought you might take.
I thought about
Pollard was a few picks down. I thought maybe the computer wouldn't grab him there, but I would love to have him as my RB1. Now I'm looking at an interesting decision because I got Jonathan Taylor sitting here. He's officially requested a trade from the Colts.
Well, officially
given him the opportunity to do that. They want a first-round pick for him, which I don't think they'll get, but they may. And then I'm looking at some young wide receivers that I love: Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave. I'd be stoked to have any of those guys. Unfortunately, I've got Tyreek Hill, so I found this position before where when you get Hill in the first, you may end up tempted to get Waddle in the second. I don't want to have both those guys, so I'm looking at Wilson, Olave, or Jonathan Taylor. Do you bite the bullet and take Jonathan Taylor and just hope that he signs somewhere and plays somewhere? But he is a stud.
Part, about the Hill Waddle thing. Like they've shown. Let's be honest, they ain't running the ball. They're not going to run the ball in Miami. So they showed last year they can sustain 2 top guys, and especially if 2 is healthy all year, which is obviously the biggest question mark. But it's honestly, you would just be cornering the Miami offensive market, which might not be a bad play.
Then later I get Tua in like the 7th, and I'm just like,
that would be the greatest.
Whenever he blows up, I'm murdering everybody.
Yep.
For the sake of a mock draft, I have not gotten this player on my team yet, so I'm going to go ahead and just throw Garrett Wilson on there and see what happens. I've been getting Olave in the second round a decent amount.
Yeah.
At the end of the round, but we'll see. So after Wilson, Waddle went, and then Jonathan Taylor to team 3, so he didn't make it much further past me. Jalen Hurts goes off as a second quarterback. Ramondre Stevenson and Josh Allen at the turn. Najee Harris coming back. Chris Olave, Mark Andrews, and I'm back up.
So you two have been going 0 RB.
I'm also kind of 0 RB, aren't I?
Without a running back.
I've got an interesting decision here as well. So I've got T. Higgins, Devontae Smith, and DK Metcalf as the next best receivers per sleeper. I've got Travis Etienne, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Breece Hall, the next best running backs. I like Gibbs and Etienne. Breece, I think, is a total stud, but I'm not convinced he's going to be healthy early in the season. They signed Dalvin Cook. Eventually in the season, I think Breece Hall will be a total stud, but I don't want to wait 8 weeks for that to play itself out. When you come back from those injuries, it usually takes a little bit. So then I'm looking at Etienne and Gibbs. Gibbs a rookie. Etienne, they just drafted Tank Bigsby, who everyone's hyped on. I don't know. I'm a little nervous. So now I'm thinking maybe
I don't want to.
I'm going to scroll down and see.
Because I'm an Etienne fan. Like, I love what he did last season. That basically they gave him the job after week 2, which was a smart move, getting James Robinson out of there. But I did read a couple concerning articles where they were saying that they're going to lessen the load on Etienne this year. They felt like they rode him pretty hard last year, and that this season they might lighten it. So obviously with the drafting of Tank Bigsby. So that's the only thing that concerns me about old Travie.
I'm with you there. I think I'm going to stick with you here. I'm going to stick with the receiver route. I'm actually going to take Devontae Smith. I like him a lot.
Wow.
I bypassed T. Higgins there. Would have been a great choice as well.
Yeah.
But I like Devontae Smith a lot and like that offense a lot. I obviously love Cincinnati's offense too. But Burrow goes next off the board in the 3rd round. I think that's kind of early.
I think you're just going for an all greenish team. I know Miami's more teal, but
yeah, I'm all green. I'm the green team. Mean green.
AFC East, NFC East. That's all you got. That's all you got.
Okay,
so now I'm up, obviously with Joe Burrow getting off the board, and then Travis Etienne. So Team 7 is going all RBs. So that is interesting. So now I'm kind of in the same position you are because there was a quarterback that went off, and then Etienne being the only running back off the board. So I still have great wide receiver options in T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, Debo. I mean, a Calvin Ridley could be a big jump this year. With running backs are getting thinner. And I think this is where I would kind of jump off the wide receiver. I might get my first running back. But here I'm a little torn because I want to take Jahmyr Gibbs, but I already have Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep.
But again, it's that same kind of concept. At least with a wide receiver running back combo, you would hope at least one of them is going to be scoring for the Lions.
Yeah,
Like,
but that kind of
when you see
hedges
it-
against each other. Kind of cuts
do.
into the upside of both.
It's like when you see a score update and you see the Lions score touchdowns, like, come on, be one of the two. It's like, nope, it was a run for Jared Goff. Why would he run it anyway?
Why would he run?
So I am kind of going to go against the grain. I am going to take Jameer just to get my first RB.
Yeah, so this would be not a 0 RB strategy that you're pulling, by the
No.
way. If you're taking an RB in the third round, it's not 0 RB, but you are waiting, which I think is
waiting.
smart.
I was waiting. Okay, so then it was a big run on wide receiver. So Lamar Jackson, another quarterback off. Then T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, Joe Mixon, not a fan of, as you all know. Brees Hall, as we just talked about. Keenan Allen, Deebo Samuel, and Calvin Ridley. I was kind of hoping Calvin was going to make it back to me. Unfortunately, he did not.
I don't know why my screen has not caught up to. You've got a whole draft board in front of you.
You said what?
You have a whole draft board in front of you. Oh, there it is.
There you go. Just had to refresh. So now here are the wide receivers. It's getting you're starting to get into that third, fourth tier. You got Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy. With running backs, you got Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker, Damian Pierce, Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins, and then an Alexander Madison. So, and then I did tell myself this year that I was not going to be waiting on a quarterback. That is what I've been telling myself. And I mean, with Patrick Mahomes going the first pick of the second round, that was not going to get him.
We promised in I think the last Fold and Cheese episode that was about football, I think we both said, I'm taking Kelsey in the first and Mahomes in the second, no matter what.
I would have if Mahomes was at my pick, I would have taken him in the second. There's no question. So now the question is, do I go for my quarterback? Because I hate being stuck in mediocre territory. So I will just never draft Justin Fields. I don't know why. It's just
my. I know who you love. Yeah.
Well, I got two right here that I'd be happy with. In a Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence. But the question is, would that make the turn? There are still 1, 2, 3, 4 teams ahead of me that have not picked a quarterback, so I'm afraid one might go. So I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, draft my quarterback, Justin Herbert. I think they could be really good this year offensively. Got retooled with weapons. I like the rookie they got in Quentin Johnson. Yeah. So I'm gonna
new
go
offensive coordinator. They got Kellen Moore there,
Kellen Moore
would like to air it out. Yeah, I agree. I think Herbert's gonna have a monster year. I personally, in that spot, I would have mashed Aaron Jones in the 4th round like that. I would have just gone all over it, and then you'd have Gibbs and Jones, Amon-Ra and Cooper Kupp. That'd be a pretty killer start. But you didn't. But you did, and did you? So I'm sitting here in kind of a wasteland as well. So you've got a couple of tight ends here, like Hawkinson and Kittle, that people have jumped on in the 4th round. I think that's too early for both of those guys. Kyle Pitts as well. I think that's too early. I could look at Justin Fields here. I think he's a bit of a cheat code. But I feel like there's a couple of guys in this draft that could end up being the next Justin Fields. And so maybe I'll wait on that, at least take a chance and see if he or Trevor come back to me. I do like Lawrence a lot this year, a ton. Amari, great. DeAndre, nervous. Terry McLaurin, nervous. I'm going to go with Damian Pierce here and get my first running back.
Damian Pierce.
And, I think he's a workhorse, and I think he's really good. So there you go.
There goes those tight ends you were just talking about. Both gone.
The tight ends are gone. The tight ends are gone. This is actually a pretty wild mock. So we lost Terry McLaurin and Amari Cooper. Kittle and Hawkinson go back-to-back. On the turn, Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore, Trevor Lawrence goes. Then DeAndre Hopkins. And Justin Fields is sitting here in the 5th round to me. I don't think I can pass that up. That's at least a round later than I thought he'd be there. I'm just going to go ahead and mash it.
Yeah. Okay. So we got Christian Watson and J.K. Dobbins. So
5 running backs for Team 7. Look at him.
Team 7.
What a jerk. Is this Larry? Is this El Schwem?
I think it is Larry, which we got to have them back on to do another mock.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. So now I'm looking. All right. Maybe I want to finish my wide receiver, my trio. But I got Drake London, Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, Michael Pittman, Tyler Lockett. I mean, no one's really jumping out at me that I'm like, yes, I would feel great. I mean, I love me some Chris Godwin. Don't get me wrong, but the quarterback situation there is just, you got Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask. I mean, what?
I get it.
What do we got?
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know, man. Tight ends. Now you got your Kyle Pitts, who's just such a conundrum. You don't know what the hell is going to go on there. Man, I might have to go a guy who did burn me 1 year, and then I didn't get him. He burned me because he was awesome. So, I mean, I'm thinking, nope. I'm gonna go wild card. Give me some Tyler Lockett.
Wild card.
Wild card.
Tyler Lockett. He's one of those picks this year, like Brandon Cooks of the years past, where no one's going to be like, "Oh, great pick."
Right.
It's
He's
gonna
not
be
like
it's going to be a great pick.
Like a stud that you think of, but he's always someone who will deliver. I mean, Drake London. I saw it. I was just nervous about him. Just Desmond Ridder, unproven. You know, they got Bajan now. They're going to be running a lot. So I was thinking Miles Sanders, as you could probably gather from my clues. Decided against it. And then there's big run on running backs. DeAndre Swift, Dalvin Cook,
Yep.
Alexander Madison, Alvin Kamara.
This is where zero RB territory will lead you, though. Like
Yes.
if you'd waited till the 6th round, you could have had one of those guys, and those guys have a lot of upside.
They do.
You know,
They
there's their downside as well, but there's a lot of upside in that crew.
There's some downside.
You wouldn't be
Now-
so terrible if Miles Sanders and Alexander Madison were your 2 running backs. You wouldn't be like totally jacked.
No, especially
And
when
you could have 4 receivers or 2 receivers, a quarterback, and a tight end, or any combination before that. That's not terrible.
Well, I mean, Team 10 literally got Sanders and Madison. Also has Stephon Diggs, Josh Jacobs, T. Higgins, Debo. Like, that's good. He's sitting
That is
good.
not bad. That is not bad.
All right, so now I'm thinking, all right, I probably do need to get a running back before literally all like the starters are gone. Because that's the thing. You want at least your well-known starter before then you're just all platoon backs. So I got my 3 wide receivers. I'm happy with that. I like that crew. I got my quarterback. And now with those tight end, I mean, a Dallas Goedert and Darren Waller gone, I'm going to sit on tight end for a little bit. I don't know. That's just me. So I am going to go with a starter in Cam Akers.
Cam Akers. I was going to actually make that pick myself. It's a good pick. I like
Picking
Akers this
6
year.
rounds. That's great. I'm taking.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
I don't mind that at all. 6th round Cam Akers, starting running back. The guy's got talent. He's still young. He should be the workhorse in LA. I like it. After Cam Akers, you lose Mike Williams, and then Kyle Pitts fell all the way to the middle of the 6th. I got to tell you, I would have had to think about it if Pitts had fallen to me, and I didn't want to have to make that decision.
You didn't
because
want
it burned
to,
me
though.
so hard last year.
You did not want to.
I did not want any part of that, but almost had to have a large part of that. Okay, so
Well, wait, timeout, Cam. Can we just finally say that Team 7 finally did not draft a running back?
they did finally break their streak there. They got Mike Williams as their first receiver. Interesting strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out for him.
Yeah, it plays out.
I'm running through a bunch of different names in here. This is a kind of a dead zone where I'm not like totally in love with these guys, but you can get a steal in here that will absolutely win your league. This is where I remember getting, I think Amon-Ra, maybe it was his rookie year. I forget, it was like 8 to 10. Like last year, I remember in the 8 to 10 range, I ended up crushing. And I don't know. This is where you can win your draft. I will say
2
that.
years ago, you got a Debo Samuel in the 9th when he had his monster year. So,
Yeah. So here's my thoughts. Godwin, I have the same nervousness that you do. Like if he gets back to me in the 7th, I probably have to take him at that point. But like, I'm just nervous there. Brandon Ayuk, I really like Ayuk. I think he's a total stud. I think he and Brock Purdy have a connection. I'm really tempted to take that pick. So I'm keeping him as a possibility. James Conner, people are nervous about, he's getting up there in age, but there's nobody else in this backfield, and he's a workhorse and he can catch the ball. You don't know what Kyler's gonna do, if he's gonna be there this year at all. So that gives you some pause. Pittman, I've always loved Pittman, but he burned me last year, and with a rookie quarterback, I don't love that.
Don't love it. Not
Christian
that he
Kirk,
did
Marquise
great
Brown.
quarterback.
I mean, a little bit. These are in kind of murkier situations. The running backs, though, Pacheco, Rachaad White, I like both those guys talent-wise, but like situationally, I don't think that's that fantastic.
Well, again, Rachaad White, you're looking at the Bucks, who are just like, yikes.
Yeah. And we don't even know if he's going to be like the guy. He was a backup to Fournette. He showed some flashes, but he didn't run very well. He's better in the receiving game. So I don't know. Their line is terrible.
Kemper, your time is running out. So can you make a pick?
I do have 57 minutes left. It has taken me a long time. So I'm looking at Ayuk and James Conner. I'm just going to go ahead and take James Conner here. I don't know why I can't just
see his profile.
I don't want to see his profile.
Isaiah Pacheco, Pittman gone, Ayuk, Godwin.
Yeah. Hollywood Brown, Rachaad White, Christian Kirk, David Montgomery, who is actually, I think, a pretty solid pick there in the 7th. Maybe a round earlier than I would have liked to see him. So now I've got an interesting decision. So I'm going to go back to the well with either a young receiver here, because I like George Pickens. I like Smith and Jigba. You got Deontay Johnson, and I like Jordan Addison. I like all those guys.
All
Or I'm going to go with
Can't
a younger running back here. Javonte Williams coming off the injury. He did play in the preseason, so it looks like he's legitimately going to play again. I don't know how effective he'll be. And James Cook has been sitting here too. And you've kind of heard me talk about James Cook. I think he's way underrated. To get a starter in the 7th or 8th round, I think would be killer.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep loading the receivers right now.
Loading the receivers.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I'm going to jump all the way down here. I'm going to go with Jordan Addison.
Oh, wow.
High upside. I love the player.
And
I love the situation.
6 and 7 followed suit, also going with young wide receivers, Isaiah Smith and Jingba and George Pickens.
Yep.
So, I mean, still got like the old man Mike Evans, which he's really not even that old. It just feels like he is.
I know you love Mike Evans. I know you're going to take him
such
right
a
here.
love-hate relationship with
Evans
Mike
and Lockett would be the most Ethan team ever.
Well, it's funny. I never have Tyler Lockett. He always just burns me. I'll get the Tyler Lockett game where I'm playing against him, and he'll get 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Great.
We'll do it for you this year.
Anyway. All right. So I, too, have been – I mean, as you've been talking about it more, I am starting to become more of a fan of a James Cook. The only thing that kind of makes me nervous is especially when any running back starts to say they're going to be on the market, everyone says, he's going to Buffalo. He's going to Buffalo. That's like
true.
the one thing they're missing.
That's true. That's true.
So obviously with Jonathan Taylor's news saying that his official request for a trade has been accepted, it's like, but he's going to Buffalo. You know, they also signed Devin Singletary, who's not, a lead back anymore, but he's someone who could snake a couple touchdowns.
Damian Harris. They sent Singletary to Houston.
Oh, excuse me. That's right. My bad.
Damian Harris from the Pats.
Former Patriot great. That's what I meant.
Yep.
So he could snake a couple touchdowns. So that's the only thing that makes me a little nervous about James Cook is that at any point in the season, they could just trade for a running back. So I just wonder here, as you said, Javonte Williams. I mean, is Samaje Perine really going to be the guy? In the beginning, I'm sure he'll get the workload. But now I'm talking too much. I'm going to actually go. I like this guy. I think he could be good. Sam Howell looked pretty good. Give me Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, I love Jahan Dotson, actually. And I think that's a great pick there. Not going to be at the top of the board, which is why people would forget about it there. But I like it.
Dang, I was hoping Javonte would swing back to me. I would definitely take Javonte Williams in the 8th. And unfortunately, he was taken.
Yep.
Literally the pick before me.
Yep.
Mike Evans off the board. Deontay Johnson. You love Deontay Johnson, first of all. I'm surprised.
I do. He didn't have a single touchdown last year, so that was terrible. But he is a stud receiver. He really is. And I think he'll have a huge bounce back this year. Getting him in the 7th round, I think, is a great steal. He's a PPR monster.
Yeah.
I think Pickens and Deontay are both primed for good years, and they're so undervalued right now.
All right. So I feel better with a James Cook here in the 8th. So I am going to take him here because I think, that's a good flex play if I need him. I just think, again, starter.
Yep. If you're going 0 RB, that's a big time target for me in the 8th round. I think he can be a workhorse back. He's a little on the small side, but pedigree's there. He's a stud. Did you know, and I heard this from a different podcast, so I won't take credit for this, but apparently his name is James Dalvin Cook, and Dalvin's name is Dalvin James Cook.
What?
Yes. That's what's up. All right, so had we waited on quarterback, look at the names here. Deshaun Watson and Tua, both sitting here in the 8th round.
You should take Tua.
Play, honestly, because they could both be studs this year.
You should take Tua.
Hard to know for sure. I'm looking through the list of names here. It's a little uninspiring. I need to check tight ends just to see what's there. Very uninspiring.
A mini run on tight ends with David Njoku, Pat Freiermuth, and Evan Ingram all in the past 10 picks.
Everyone around me has got their tight end. So in a normal draft, I would assume another one won't be taken. You never know on these sleeper mock drafts. They can be wild. I've got all my receivers. I've got 4, actually. I've got my flex covered 2. Running back, A.J. Dillon. God, I would love to take A.J. Dillon and be happy about it, but he burned me so hard last year.
He burned you so hard last year.
He burned me hard.
Especially in the do it bet board.
The do it bet was awful. But those quads, my God, those legs. But I will tell you, another couple of 0 RB players here. Khalil Herbert is a starter in Chicago. Stud running back. Zach Charbonnet is going to get some passing down work and goal line work in Seattle. Could be a total steal. Devon Achane, another rookie, I really like as well. Speed for days in Miami.
Real quick, buddy, what are your thoughts on Rashad Penny? Because, when the Eagles signed him, I was like, no, that's a good fit for him. He's finally going to get the chance to be that league guy. Because here's the thing. One, he would not play for the first 14 games or just have sparing carries. And then, who was the Chris Carson would get hurt. He'd come in for 3 games, be like the fantasy all-star, have a million
Greatest
points.
player ever.
Yeah. So then he's like, last year, he's going to start. Great. Rashad Penny out for the year after the first game. So it's like, holy crap. So the Eagles sign him like, okay, he's going to get a chance. And then they go and trade for DeAndre Swift. Right. Well, so what are your thoughts on Penny's workload?
I have no idea. Honestly, couldn't tell you. There are some rumors that there's a chance he doesn't make the roster because of how they've used him in the preseason, which would be crazy. I could also see him being like the starter and Swift being only used in like third downs. And there's a lot of buzz about Kenneth Gainwell being like the guy who knows the system the best, and he's the best all-around back that they have. Like, it's a real dart throw. If you want my guess,
yes,
Swift is a starter. Penny is either a thumper or he gets cut, and Gainwell's going to have a bigger year than anybody thinks. That's my guess.
Where's Boston Scott? Let me draft him.
Where is Boston Scott? All that being said, I'm gonna take Khalil Herbert here.
With all that being
Pretty
said,
safe, like gonna touch the ball a bunch in Chicago. I feel good about him there in the 8th round again. Deshaun Watson, AJ Dillon, Brandon Cooks, Jamal Williams, actually.
Jamal.
Michael Thomas, Cortland Sutton, Gabe Davis, and Tua. So there's those 2 quarterbacks, both taken by Team 4 back to back. Went with Deshaun and Tua. Maybe it's not a terrible strategy, honestly, in the 8th and 9th round. It's
Hey,
back
do
to me.
you like beignets? Beignets?
Beignets is what he called them.
Beignets?
The beignet is basically just a funnel cake.
It's funnel cake. No disrespect, but it's funnel cake.
It's good if you like funnel cakes.
Jamal Williams has to be one of just the treasures of the National Football League right now. I mean,
he's an absolute gem, I will say.
I just love, I've seen pictures of him in videos, like kids bringing their Pokemon booklets to like their training camp, and he's just going after like, oh yeah, that's a good one. Like looking through the whole. So
he knows them all, I think.
Shame on you, Detroit. Shame on you. You had a great thing. You blew it. Shame on you.
You blew it. Okay, so there's some interesting names at wide receiver here. Quentin Johnston, a rookie who's in with the Chargers in LA. Juju, I'm staying away from. Zay Flowers, another rookie in Baltimore, getting a lot of hype as well. You got Beckham, Odell there hanging out, and Elijah Moore getting a ton of hype in Cleveland. I think all those are pretty solid plays here. I see that every team ahead of me except for you has got a tight end, so I'm probably just not going to worry about that right now. It might burn me. There's a couple names on that list that I like. So honestly, for me, I'm kind of looking at Elijah Moore, Zay Flowers, and Quentin Johnston. They're all kind of equal dart throws as far as like what their role is going to be once the season gets started. I do already have Jordan Addison, so I'm a little hesitant to take another rookie, although one of them I feel like is going to blow up. So give me Quentin Johnston. We'll see what happens. He's the wide receiver 3 in that Chargers team, but they always have injuries.
You know, Keenan Allen or Mike Williams going to get hurt.
One of them will be injured, and Johnson will be stepping in. We'll see what happens.
I got Quentin Johnston in our Dynasty League, and I was very happy with that. So
that's a great pickup.
All right, so now it is back to me. You did mention you and I are the only teams without a tight end, and there's still a couple options. I mean, I'm probably not taking your guy. I've always been a Dalton Schultz fan, and I feel like obviously and I know I always say this, but with a rookie quarterback, your tight end is your lifeline. And Dalton Schultz proves he can be that guy. I mean, he's the guy in Dallas for a good number of years. So I'm taking Dalton here just because I'm nervous. I don't want it to somehow disappear because the computer's weird. So I'm going Dalton.
It's a solid play. I think he'll be fine in Houston. We saw Juju go next. We got Anthony Richardson in the 9th. He is who I would have potentially looked at if I didn't get Fields. I think he's got that kind of upside.
Yeah.
You got Brian Robinson, Zach Charbonnet, Zay Flowers, Rashad Penny, Cole Kmet, Odell Beckham, and back to you. So Kmet was one of the tight ends I was targeting. Obviously didn't make it back to me. No sweat. There's a couple other guys there.
No sweat.
No sweat, Cole Kmet.
No sweat, Cole Kmet. Wow. Love it. Okay, so now it's back to me. You know, we're obviously not getting backup quarterbacks because we only are doing like 2 bench slots here just for the sake of said draft. So it's obviously running back, wide receiver, just seeing who's left and kind of what to go for here. You mentioned in Elijah Moore, if he can kind of finally blow up. We saw flashes of him in New York and what he could be. So you wonder if he's going to have that hookup with Deshaun. Man, I'm going to go with Sky Moore of Kansas City just because, again, he could be the guy to emerge in KC. I know they've shown they really don't need that true number 1, but he could kind of be the sleeper. And I liked him out of Western. I don't know. I like him. I like
Sky Moore. Rashid Rice just lit it up in their last preseason game, so maybe he's going to do something as a rookie, but I do like Sky Moore coming in this year. I'm going to grab my tight end. I'm getting Dalton Kincaid. A lot of buzz about this guy. Rookie tight ends don't usually perform, but they're splitting him out wide. He's a dynamic pass catcher. Their number 2 is currently Gabe Davis, who has shown flashes, but is also not always
and also disappointing.
So I'm taking Kincaid there at my tight end. We're on our last round of this mock. It's a truncated bench. We lost Geno Smith, Chig Okonkwo, Devon Achane. I would have loved to have grabbed here. Jameson Williams, someone grabbed him as well. So I'm looking at Rashad Bateman, Damian Harris, Elijah Mitchell in San Fran, who I don't want to take a shot on. I'm going to grab Tank Bixby here. I think Tank, just to mention his name, basically, I think Tank Bixby.
I want to say his name.
Number one, it's a great freaking name. Number two, could have a really solid year. He could get some third down work. He's a great pass catcher. He should probably get a lot of the goal line work. Etienne's a smaller back.
Yeah.
He could be surprising. And if Etienne gets injured, he could be a total stud. I'm really excited to see what he can do in that offense.
What you should have done is the pick I'm doing right now and get yourself a handcuff for your man, Khalil. Give me Deontay Foreman.
Deontay Foreman. We assume he's the handcuff. He's another guy that could end up getting cut. You know,
I
they
know,
brought
right?
in, I think it was Chase Edmonds they brought in to be like special teamer for them or something. And then you got Roshan Johnson, who's a rookie that I really like. He backed up Bijan in Texas. Deontay Foreman might not make the team, and I like Deontay Foreman, but who knows? Who knows?
He's such a weird dude that he'll have blow up again, kind of like Rashad Penny, but for more of extended periods of time. So anyway, last pick.
There it is. So let's run through the rosters real quick here, and then we're going to cut this thing off. We're trying to keep it shorter this season. So
Yes.
I'm sitting here with my quarterback, Justin Fields, my two starting running backs, Damian Pierce and James Conner, receivers, Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Smith,
Woo!
tight end, Dalton Kincaid, flexing Jordan Addison, some combination of either Jordan Addison, Khalil Herbert, Quentin Johnston, and Tank Bixby.
Okay. Well, my squad, I got quarterback is Justin Herbert. Running backs are Jahmyr Gibbs, Cam Akers. Wide receivers, Cooper Kupp, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Tyler Lockett with a tight end of Dalton Schultz. And my flex being a Jahan Dotson or James Cook. I feel like it would be one of those two guys.
So I have to say I like your team better. I like the way that it worked better for you. Yeah. So I probably waited one round too much in the beginning, grabbing three receivers. I probably should have grabbed a running back there in the third.
Yeah.
But I like Gibbs and Akers as your 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
I like Dotson and flex. James Cook, you still got two. So like I feel like two of those three guys have got to have a decent year. I feel like you could rotate them or you could flex one of them and be pretty good.
Yeah, no, and again, I realized I actually have to trade Jahan Dotson and Sky Moore because I have an all blue team. So I blew that one.
They're not going to work.
I blew it. Get it?
You blew it.
I blew it.
That's awful.
No, I was happy with how that came out. You know, I still got my quarterback. It wasn't Mahomes, but I still got a reliable, you know what you're going to get out of my quarterback. It's still higher end. Love my trio of receivers. And yeah, I was happy with the running backs that fell to me. So
yeah, well done. Here's one more look at the 100-yard rush results. We've got Drader, Curtis, Andy, Creighton, me, Blake, Hazer, Ethan, Josh, Ricky, Aaron, Rob. That's your order, folks. Start your mock drafts. Sleeper is the best place to do mock drafts, by the way.
Yeah, so
you can knock
quick.
one of those things out in like 3 minutes. It's so fun.
Yeah. So
Please pay us,
awesome.
Sleeper. Please pay us.
So there you go. First official mock draft. I think we'll do another live one with some more people. That was fun last year. So stay tuned for that. But, you know, great first run. We got our draft order. So until next time, keep on folding.
Hold it.